this method, but okay, just a minute. Okay, you will not get any question on this method of separation of variables, which is also called as product method, but we are going to deal with now applications of PDE, where we are going to solve wave and heat equation by this method. Okay, so I thought let me take one example so that I can explain the method. Then when I take the main important two derivations, among which one will be asked in the exam, will be more clear. Okay, keeping that in mind, I have taken one example. Now understand how the steps to be taken in this method. See, just see here, it is dou u by dou x plus dou u by dou y equal to 2 into x plus y into u. Now if you see this is a partial differential equation, no doubt in that. Tell me, it is now, which is a dependent variable? Which is a dependent variable?
You, ma'am.
U. So the expected answer is you should get the relation in the between the variables, correct? That is dependent variable as a function of independent variables. What are the independent variables here?
X and Y.
X and Y. And one more thing, this method is applicable if in the given partial differential equation, you should have the derivative of u with respect to x and y both. If one of them is not there, you cannot solve by the method. It may be first order, it may be second order, whatever it is. It may be a combination of first and second order. But you should have derivative of u with respect to all the independent variable. Then only this method can be applied. Now to apply this method, I'll just take the example only and I'll solve and I'll explain the method. Just see here. Now here take the given equation. Take the given equation as equation 1. Next, assume, okay, let u equal to. So dependent variable is u. Take this is equal to product of independent variable as the solution. Now, what are the independent variable? X and Y, correct? But you take it as a product of capital X into capital Y, where capital X is a function of X and capital Y is a function of Y. Are you getting it? Take this dependent variable u is equal to product of independent variable, where you have to take it in the form of capital letters as, take this as equation 2. Suppose this is the solution of equation 1. Now, whenever you call anything to be the solution, what it does? Can you call anything randomly as a solution or any particular way? What it does in turn? Now, for example, suppose if I have the equation like ax plus b equal to 0, correct? So, what is the solution of this? What is the answer? What is the root of this? Or what is the solution?
Minus b by a.
Very good. X equal to minus b by a is the solution. Why you call minus b by a only as a solution? Why not a by b? Why not a by b?
Minus b by a satisfy the condition.
Very good. If you substitute back this value, this solution in the given equation, it 100% satisfies. You can verify it. Okay. So this is a into minus b by a plus b. You will get the answer as 0 equal to 0. It's 100% satisfies. That's why this is the solution and this is not the solution. Got it? I'm applying the same concept. What we are saying that equation 2 is the solution of equation 1. That means equation 2, what it does? What it does? Use that word. Just now what you have used. Equation
Satisfy the
2
condition.
satisfies equation 1. That means in place of u, in equation 1, if I replace xy, it is 100% going to satisfy. Correct? Therefore, equation 1 becomes, write everything same, where all you have u, take it as xy. Understood? That is the next step. So, dou by dou x, xy, plus dou by dou y, xy. How many u you have in the whole equation? How many? There
3.
are 3 u's are there. All you replace it as xy. One more thing here, actually, when you are saying this is the solution, means this is the last answer, no problem. But it is in terms of x and y. So, what we are doing here, all these steps is we are going to find the value of capital X as a function of small x and similarly y as a function of y. To get it, we are applying some method. Got it? Now, here just see when you are differentiating xy with respect to x, okay, this is partial differentiation of xy with respect to x. How can we do it? Think about it. Is it anything constant or we have to apply a product rule, quotient rule? What we have to apply?
Y constant.
Y is constant because y is a function of y and you are differentiating this with respect to x. Obviously, y is constant comes out. Now remaining is derivative of x with respect to x. Can you tell me x is depending on how many independent variables? Capital X.
1.
Only one. So if dependent variable is depending on only one independent variable, how we write rho as? How we write rho as? If you remember the second method, so if it is a function of only one variable, how we have written?
Capital D.
Ordinary, yeah, dx by dx. Hope the part is clear. Because x is a function of only one variable, so that you can write like this. Similarly, what can be taken out? Here, second term.
X.
X.
Yeah, x is constant. Remaining thing?
Dy by dy.
Dy by dy is equal to 2 into x plus y into xy. Here, this method is called as product method because you assume the solution in the form of product. One more name is separation of variables. So, now next step, we are going to separate x and y. Okay, we are going to separate x terms and y terms. For that, one easy step is there. You divide this equation by capital XY, separation will be done. Okay, twice we do that separation. That's why it is called a method of separation of variables. Suppose if you divide each term by xy, what happens? Y divided by xy means? Y divided by xy.
1 by x.
1 by x. Huh? Remaining term is same. Next, x divided by xy means?
1 by y.
1 by
1 by y. Dy by dy. Here what happens?
2x plus y.
Yeah, very good. 2. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll just take this 2 inside. It is 2x plus 2y. Xy will be cancelled. Okay. So capital X and you can just observe here either they are capital X terms or Y terms. Next, again we separate. For that, here we'll collect the terms in X in one side, LHS preferably, and terms in Y on RHS. Okay, so for that reason, I'll transfer 2x and I'll transfer this that side. Just check what happens. Tell me what is the next step if you transfer it. 1 by x dx by dx, this plus 2x becomes minus 2x is equal to, what do you have here already is 2y. This if you take on the other side, it is negative. Am I correct? Yeah. Is it x and y are separated, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, after this, when first separation is done, suppose if I take this LHS value as some k, can you tell me what is the value of RHS? No, I'm just asking, see this LHS part entirely I'm taking it as some K. So this RHS part is it K or something different?
K only.
K only, because here when you are saying the value of LHS is K means obviously RHS is K because you have an equality sign over here. So what we do after first separation is we equate them to a constant K. Write a line here on equating both sides to a common constant K, we get, yeah, I'll write now LHS part is equal to some K, and how I should write the next part? RHS part is also equal to the same K, not K1. Okay. Now here again we'll separate capital X and small x. For that reason, what I will do, I'll just keep capital X terms here. So capital dx upon x I will keep. Next, I'll first transfer minus 2x. What it will be?
Plus
If I
2x.
transfer plus 2x. After that, what is to be transferred to separate? Isn't it small dx? Dx, where it comes? Numerator.
Numerator.
Yeah, can you guess how can I get the value of x easily? What the step to be applied? What is the step we can apply? I want the value of capital X. This is my intention.
Integration.
Very good. Just this is variable separable form. Apply integration. What is the integration of 1 by x with respect to x?
Log x.
Log x is equal to. What is the integration of k with respect to x?
0.
No, integration it is.
X, kx, kx.
Kx plus 2x. 2 into x becomes
X square by 2.
x square by 2. Add some constant because you are integrating the whole step. Take it as some C1. So can you write the value of x from this expression? What is to be done for that? To get the value of x? I want only x. What is extra?
Log.
Log.
Exponent.
What is to be done? Yeah, x. If you just
E
transfer
raised.
on the other side, it becomes e raised to kx plus x square plus c1. Hope understood. Huh? So we are getting now capital X as a function of small x, isn't it? What we have taken here, capital X is a function of x only. That means you should not get any y there. Now, let us again separate here also. First, I'll keep capital Y terms. So I'll keep dy by y here. Then I'll transfer the terms. So I'll take this 2y that side. It is k minus 2y. Then I'll transfer this minus. If I take minus here, this is minus and this minus becomes plus. Clear? What is one thing I missed? What I should write now?
dy.
Dy. Right? After transferring that, transfer this dy, it comes in the numerator. What is the next step? Again, integration. So integration of 1 by y is log y is equal to integration of this is minus k with respect to y. Minus ky plus y square plus c2. Am I correct? Again, y is going to be e raised to minus ky plus y square plus c2. Now this is not the end because we have assumed the solution in the form of xy, no? So we have to write in terms of that. Therefore, let us substitute in equation 2 u equal to xy. X is what? E raised to kx plus x square plus c1. Y is what? E raised to minus ky plus y square plus c2. Else, I will write like this. I'll just take it as c. Just see e raised to, this is laws of indices if you apply. E raised to this plus this, like a raised to m into a raised to n, a raised to m plus n. In that e raised to c1 plus c2 if I take, that is one more constant. I'm writing it as c. Okay. not to worry about the constant. The main important is function. E raised to, if you consider these two terms, isn't it k is common? We'll get x minus y. Tell me remaining terms. X square plus y square. So isn't it you are getting your answer dependent variable u as a function of a small x and y? Correct? So we applied some procedure. This is called as separation of method of separation of variables. Just in briefly, I'll explain. Just go through this because steps are very important. What is your main intention? You need to remember, not the example to be by-hearted. First, they'll give some equation. This is applicable. You should have derivative of the dependent variable with respect to all the independent variable. Then only you can apply this method. Now, assume the solution in the form dependent variable is equal to product of independent. Better take it in terms of capital letters, where capitals are functions of small letters. Now, when you are saying equation 2 is a solution, it has to 100% satisfy. So, in place of u, write it as x, y and apply the concept. Okay. Now, as the remaining thing is a function of only one variable, one independent, capital X is a function of only one. That's why dou x by dou x can be written as dx by dx. Same way it follows over here. Now we separate the variables. First, to separate x, y, divide the whole equation by x into y. Easy step. If you do it and separate it, you are going to get terms in x, small x, terms in y, small y. When this separation is done, you equate them to a common constant k, and then you need to again separate capital X, small x, and easy way is by variables are separated means integrated, you will get the value of capital X. Same way follows, RHS part you equate it to K, separate capital Y and small y and get the value for capital Y. After that, you can take the solution in the form U equal to X1 and substitute the values. Yes, if you want, you can write what is capital C, e raised to C1 plus C2. Is the method clear? Is the method clear? Okay, this has to go step by step. So today we'll just see how to get the solution of one-dimensional wave equation by which method? Separation of variables. Because you can apply different methods, but this is very, very easy. And actually it fails. You cannot apply direct integration. You cannot apply the second way. And you cannot even apply the Lagrange's form because here the derivatives present are second order. So the method left out is separation of variables. Write down this equation. Actually, we are going to derive it. Today I thought let me take a solution. Consider, write down, consider one-dimensional wave equation. One-dimensional wave equation, dou square u by dou t square is equal to c square dou square u by dou x square. Or the same equation can be written in terms of this notation, utt equal to c square uxx. Okay, now just see this equation. Tell me what is a dependent variable. Dependent variable is
U.
U. And independent variables are
X and T.
X and T. Okay, T and X. So we have to solve it by separation of variable. Let me call it as equation 1. Can you tell me what is the step to be applied here? What step we have to take by separation of
U is
variable? Assume U equal to what I have to take?
capital X into capital T.
Capital X into capital T, where take this as equation 2, where what is capital X? Function of X, and capital T is function of T. So what we have to assume this equation 2 as the solution of equation, which equation? 1.
Equation 1.
Yes. So when this is a solution of equation 1, obviously it has to satisfy. So what is the next step? We have to replace U by what quantity? What quantity here?
X into xt.
Yeah, x into t. This is dou square xt by dou t square is equal to c square dou square xt by dou x square. There are two u's here, both we replaced it. Now can you tell me what is the step? What happens here when you are differentiating partially with respect to t? What comes out?
X.
X comes out. What remains? It is like derivative of t with respect to t. Now t is a function of one variable, means dou is nothing but
D.
d. So this is like d square t by dt square. Am I correct? Is equal to c square. What comes out? This is with respect to x, means which term is constant? Isn't it? T is constant. Comes out. And remaining is what? D square x by dx square. Okay. Now, what is the next intention? In separation of method of separation of variables, we need to separate which terms? X and t terms. Tell me what step I have to apply. What is to be applied now?
Divide by x and t.
Very good. Divide by x into t here, not by xt. So if you divide by xt, this is 1 upon xt, means what remains is 1 by t, d square t by dt square. One more thing I'll do, I'll just transfer this c square, because this will again later on going to be complicated. Better you transfer it now. C square is constant actually. What is this c square? You will come to know when we derive it. But c square is constant, a fixed constant you can say. C square is constant. Yeah. Now here what you do, if you divide the remaining thing by xt, what remains? 1 by x d square x by dx square, correct? Tell me whether the variables are separated, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what is to be done if separated? What is the next step?
Equate to some constant.
Okay, yes. On equating both sides to, this is one of the important questions you are going to get in exam. So, instead of bahating, no, you better remember, that is far better. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah, let us continue. Hope the screen is visible. Yeah. Equating both sides to a common constant k. Common constant k. So 1 upon c square t into d square t by dt square is equal to what I have to write? What is to be written?
K.
K. And here also 1 by x d square x by dx square is also equal to the same k, constant k. Now let us solve one by one. Here now we would have done the separation part like that example what we have dealt. But here this is not first order. This is second order. Variable separable form is there only for first order differential equation, isn't it? Am I right? In second order, you are not learned a variable separable format. So this comes as the problem what we have dealt in second semester, the ordinary differential equations. Okay. So we'll write it in the equation format. This is now d square t by dt square. I'll transfer it. Okay. I'll transfer this term. It is k into c square t, k into c square t equal, okay. So then I'll take this term here. What happens? Isn't it minus? Am I right with this step? Very easy.
Yes.
I transfer it and I transferred it all the terms here because this is second order differential equation. You know how to solve it. How you write first this equation in terms of capital D, isn't it? So how you write it? Capital D is what in this case? If I want to write in terms of capital D, what is the differential operator you have?
D by dt.
D by dt, very good. So if it capital D is D by dt, what is this part? D square t minus k square ct equal to 0. Am I correct? Now what is common in both?
And KC square.
Ma'am, KC square.
Sorry. It is k into c square. Okay, k into c square. In the remaining terms, now you can take t common. Yes, you people don't do such mistake. Let me call this as equation 3. Similarly, come back over here. Why I'm not solving the further part? Because c square is actually some constant. There is no problem. So if I take the root of c square, what is the value of this? C square is
C.
root of c square is c only. There is no problem. But what is root of k? You may say root k. But what is k? K is some constant what we equated. So this constant may take some value. It may be 0. Am I right? We have to think of all the different values what k is going to take, because this is coming under square root, If it was k square, there is no problem, but if it is k, there is a problem. This k may be 0, that time the value will be 0, no problem. K is positive, no problem. K is negative, what happens? If suppose k is some minus 100 or minus 10, what happens? What do you get?
Imaginary.
The value as.
Imaginary.
You will get it as imaginary. Why I am dealing with this? Because this is homogeneous. You know that when you write the auxiliary equation, your value of m. If I write auxiliary equation, it is m square is equal to kc square. Now k, if it is negative, suppose what happens? M value will be complex. If k is positive, m value will be real. Am I right? So I cannot generalize the values by taking only one case. We have to take all the possible solution. For that reason, what we are going to do, we are going to take the different values of k and write the solution. That's why I'm not solving the further part now. Okay. Similarly, take it the RHS part. Here, if you do the simplification, can you tell me what you'll get? This is again d square x by dx square. First you transfer 1 by x, it becomes kx. Transfer it on LHS. What is that? Capital Kx. Correct? Now, what is the value of d here? Because usually we write the equation in terms of capital D, no? What is capital D?
D by dx.
D by dx. So will you tell me what is the equation converted to be?
D square
Capital
minus
D
k.
square x minus kx or d square minus k into x equal to 0. Correct? Again, here also if you write the auxiliary equation, the value depends on which quantity? The value depends on k. So, we'll take the different three cases. What are the three cases? K may be 0, k may be positive, k may be negative. Okay. First simple case we'll take. What is that? If suppose k is 0. If k is 0, what happens to equation 3? Because 3 and 4 both depends on k. Suppose if k is 0, tell me what is remaining in equation 3?
D square t.
Yeah, only d square t is equal to 0. Or else, what is d here for equation 3? So if I write, what is this? D square t by dt square equal to 0. Am I right? I want the solution. Means I want to get what is capital T in terms of small t. What can be applied here? What can be applied? No? I want the answer. I want capital T. Capital T is connected to d square. Can you get rid of the derivative easily? What is that?
Integration.
Integration. So this is differentiated with respect to small t 2 times. So to get the answer, what we have to do? Integrate 2 times with respect to small t. So once if you integrate, what remains? First order derivative. What is the integration of 0? 0 is 0. What do you do when you add, whenever you integrate a whole step, what do you do?
Add constant.
Add a constant. Take it as some C1. Now, is it the answer? Not it.
No.
What we have to do? Again, integrate. See, this is differentiated, no? So easily we can integrate it. See, here you may ask why we did not integrate this step. This is now t now. If this was in terms of small t, we would have done an integration. This is capital T. We cannot perform that integration here. This converts to a second order differential equation. But this is equated to 0 means easily we can integrate and we can get the answer. Okay. Now tell me what happens if you integrate. Capital T equal to, what is the integration of C1?
C1 t
C1
plus C2.
C2, done. Okay, yeah. Now, this is not only, K is not only in 3, it is there also in 4. Let us see what happens if you take K equal to 0 here. So, D square minus 0 into X is 0. Tell me what is this equation? Am I right? Tell me the step.
Double integration.
Integrate with respect to what? X or T?
X.
X.
X. That to be small x, huh? Okay. So again, you will get some constant. Take it as next constant. Don't take same. What is the next step?
Integration with respect.
Again, integrate with respect to x. So integration of dx by x is x. Integration of C3 is?
C3x plus C4.
Very good. C3x plus C4. This is not the end of case 1. We have to substitute the value in equation 2. Therefore, equation 2 becomes u equal to, okay, xt, which is equal to tx or xt. Okay, I have given the preference for this first. C1t plus C2 into C3x plus C4. Done. This is what? This is the solution. Call it as equation 5. This is the solution if k is 0. Got it? This is not the end of that example. We have to take second case. Can you guess what is the second case? K is what?
Positive.
Positive.
Positive. So K, let K be positive. Very dangerous. Okay. Now, if I take K as positive and if I take K as some K, if I keep it as K only, what happens? You know that, or your auxiliary equation is like M square is equal to KC square. So if I write M, no, M value will be what? Root of KC square. C comes out, no problem, but root of K remains. So I will take the value of K as some square value. Is it okay? Ultimately, it should be positive. That's all. I'll take it as some P square. K is positive. I'm taking it as P square to avoid square root. Otherwise, writing the CF and all will be little lengthy to avoid it. Okay. What happens if you take equation 3? In equation 3, the value of K as P square. Just observe here. D square minus P square C, sorry, P square C square into T, no? Tell me what happens? D square minus P square C square into T equal to 0. This is a second order differential equation. We can solve it by taking the auxiliary equation and depending on the nature of the roots, we can write the CF. Yeah, tell me what is the auxiliary equation?
M square.
Minus P square C square equal to 0, or what is M?
PC.
PC. Plus or minus? Plus or minus. Am I right? Okay. Tell me which case is this? We have 3 different cases, no, for the nature. Is it real?
First one.
Yeah, that is real.
Real
And Distinct. Okay. So how you write for real and distinct? See, your answer should be written as capital T in terms of small t. Take care of that. Tell me now how to write. Capital T equal to, how to write for plus PC? C4 is used, no? I'll use C5. E raised to first root, real root.
PC. PCT.
PC. T, very good. How to write for the next? Minus PCT. Correct? Yeah. Take now the value of K as P square in equation 4. Just see what you'll get. How it is? D square minus K, no? Equation 4. So it is D square minus P square into X is 0. Again, what is the next step? This is the second order homogeneous. Auxiliary equation is what? M square minus P square is 0. M is equal to
Plus or minus P.
plus or minus P. Is it the same case? Yes, real and distinct. How to write the answer? You should write capital X as a function of small x. Because for equation 4, capital D is d by dx. Tell me how to write for plus P.
C7.
E raised to
X.
X.
px or xp. Okay. Next,
8.
C8
E raised to
e
minus.
raised to
E raised
minus
to
P.
minus P.
Okay. Therefore, after getting x and t, what has to be done? Substitute again in equation 2. U equal to xt or tx. C5 e raised to pct plus C6 e raised to minus pct into C7 e raised to px, C8 e raised to minus px. Got it? This is the solution. Call it as equation 6. Okay, it is easy, only the numbers are not like you don't have constant, you have it in terms of some letters, P, C, like that. Tell me what is the last case.
K is negative.
K is negative.
A be negative. So let it be negative, but again, if I take it as negative, suppose if it is negative means K is in which format? Minus of some quantity. Am I agree? Do you agree with this? K is negative means
Yes.
minus of some quantity. Now this quantity, if I take it as only K, like if I take K as minus K, what happens? It is again coming as square root. To avoid it, I take it as again P square. Is it okay? Can I take like that?
Yes.
We can. Only thing, take that this is not minus P the whole square. If it is minus P the whole square, there is no case you are taking it as negative. It becomes again positive. Okay, and take your K as some minus P square. That's all. P is positive, but if you attach a minus to that P square, it becomes still negative type of number only. Again, I am not taking as integer. It may be anything. It may be anything. Okay. Now, so let us substitute in equation 3. What will get? First equation is d square minus. Yeah, just substitute
Plus.
in equation. Okay, observe here equation 3, d square, k is minus p square means minus into minus plus. Very good. Someone answered, right? Plus p square c square into t equal to 0. Correct? All of you agree? This is still second order differential equation only. Okay? How to solve it? By taking
Auxiliary equation.
auxiliary equation is what? M square plus P square C square is 0. Tell me the roots. This becomes like minus. Okay, minus means under the root minus quantity means I. And root of P square is P and root of C square is C. Am I right? IPC. Confirm whether real or complex. See how is the situation? M square is equal to minus p square c square. When you remove this, okay, so this is plus or minus under the root. So I'm writing minus 1 as I. Hope clear. Complex roots. How you write for complex? How you write for complex? What is the real part?
See, 0.
0. So need not to worry. E raised to 0 t is 1 only. How to write for plus or minus IPC?
C9. C9 cos PC.
The 8 is done, 9 you use. Cos of PCT. Am I correct? PCT plus C10 sine of PCT. Anybody has any confusion? Please ask now. General concept. Let us see what happens to equation 4. Yeah, this is d square. Have you have here equation 4? D square minus k into x, no? And k is minus p square. Means, what will you get? Am I right with this? Tell me the auxiliary equation. Tell me the roots.
Plus or minus IP.
Yes,
Plus or
plus or
minus
yes, very good. These are the complex roots. How to write now? Write capital X in terms of small x. How we write? C11, plus or minus
Cos
IP, cos of PX,
PF.
plus
and
C12
C12
sin
sine of PX. Okay, substitute in equation 2, U equal to XT, so that this is C9 cos of PCT plus C10 sine of PCT into x value, C11 cos of Px plus C12 sine of Px. No other case than this. Take it as equation 7. So you can say the equations 5, 6, 7 are going to give you the possible values. Yeah, just write it. Therefore, equation 5, 6 and 7 gives all possible solutions of what was the equation we have taken up? One dimensional. It is one dimensional wave equation. Okay. See, this you have to write if they ask the solution part.